And here is the second key. The key is that when you do that and you are talking about the after and you're talking about the benefits, and I want you to get this here, and if you have a question, fire away. But your job is to dimensionalize the benefit. And what I mean by dimensionalize is paint a picture of what that looks like in the prospect's life, right? So, let's say, so with benefits, okay, there are three types of benefits, and then I'll circle back and I'll answer your question. There are three types of benefits, or three forms of benefits. There's functional, right, and you know this like a pro. There's functional, right, which is kind of a functional benefit is like this. Let's take, let's go back to let's take a protein powder. Functional benefit, you'll build muscle quicker, okay? Or you'll build more muscle. That's a functional benefit, right? Dimensionalized is what does that functional benefit look like in terms of experience in the life of the prospect. So what does that look like, right? Because you'll grow more muscle, or you'll build more muscle, right? You'll grow, you build more muscle. What does that actually look like? What does that mean? What's the picture what's the image that you want to paint in their mind? You're the director of the movie playing in their mind. And this is, by the way, just again to continue to attack, this is how you make your offer irresistible, by showing what life will be like after compared to right now, and doing it in a way that is dimensionalized, where they can see it and picture it in their head. Because when you say you'll grow more muscle, that's a benefit because it's about the prospect, but that's not dimensionalized. What am I seeing in my head? Go ahead.
Yeah, so if you were to do an example with your E5 program,
yeah,
how would you dimensionalize the before, the after, and examples on the benefits?
So let's take before for a second and after, right? So before, right now, in essence, is right now you're running ads, and maybe you get some traffic, maybe you get some clicks. When you do, you're probably overwhelmed by the cost of what it takes to get that traffic. And then there's nothing worse than when you only see a couple of sales from all this money that you spent on cold traffic. Not to mention, likely, you're seeing these sales sporadically. And so maybe you're getting sales 2 or 3 days a week, and you're right on the cusp of something big if you could only figure it out. Well, the cool thing is with the E5 method, you see sales every day, day in and day out. You're getting not only more traffic, but you're getting better quality traffic. So every day, you're seeing more and more prospects buying from you. You're seeing your new buyer notifications in your email coming in every day, and you're profiting from the money that you're putting into Facebook. And so with the E5 method, you're now not only getting more sales, you're blah, 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 blah. You see the difference between what is your experience now, the experience that you don't like, the experience that like look, with tennis, for example, with every product or service, there is some level of dissatisfaction. Like when we say, on the prior pyramid, problem aware, right? If we go back, problem aware. What most people think, and I want you to get this. What most people think when I say problem, there it is again. When I say problem, they think, you're talking about somebody's got diabetes, God forbid, or somebody got, a speeding ticket, and now they want to know how to get out of the speeding ticket, or they got low back pain, or they're not getting enough traffic. But a problem in this context, the context of marketing, is any situation that you want to change, any level of dissatisfaction, right? So if you want more money, if you want to make more money, that's what we would consider in this context a problem. right? You want to make more money and you just don't know how to make more money. That's what we would consider a problem. You've got some money saved for retirement, but you know you need to 10x it and you're unsure how. That's a problem. You want to get your child into a great college, right? Like a great college, but you're unsure of what's the best way to structure their application and all of that. That's a problem. So it's really an unmet desire. And that unmet desire can be both the alleviation of a negative or the enjoyment of a positive, right? So a problem could be I've got back pain and I want to get rid of it. I'm in debt and I want to get out of it. I need, or whatever. I want to save my marriage, right? But it can also be I want to play better tennis. I want to win more tennis games. I'm so tired of my serve not going in. Like I want to impress my family out on the court. I'm about to go on a family retreat and I want to be able to, right? Or I just enjoy it and I just want to get better and I'm unsure of the best way to get better. All of that is the existence of a problem. And so the point is, right, the way to look at it is the right now, right, we've got now and we've got after. And we're contrasting the two. We're showing the difference in the two. Right now, the thing for you to understand is this. Your prospect has an unmet desire. And that unmet desire, and listen to me, right? That could be something that could be as significant as like, I've got cardiovascular disease, or I want to figure out how to buy my fiance, a ring, right? There's an unmet desire. And that unmet desire, is surrounded by experience. There's experiences that I have because of that unmet desire. Right? There are things, right? And there are emotions that I have because of that unmet desire. There are feelings that I have. That I'm in debt and I want to get out of debt, right? That could play a role if I'm married like that. I'm not living up to my duty as the head of my household. That a man should be able to get his family out of debt. I want to be a good example for my kid. And having all of these emotions, right? And if we look at the experience that I'm having, that experience or those experiences that I'm having are like, man, the bank balance, it's running out of money, but right when I'm getting paid every week, I'm getting bills and the bills are starting to pile up a little bit. I'm starting to get into arguments with my wife over the bills piling up. I'm starting to, I'm drinking a little bit at night as I'm searching through our checkbook or balancing or whatever, right? There are experiences that somebody in that situation with that unmet desire has, and there are emotions that play out because of those experiences. I want to contrast that with after. That's what and here is the thing to understand. What you are selling is that. That's what you're selling. You're not selling, right? It's not even the vehicle to get, you've got the now, right? You've got this unmet desire, right? This unmet desire. You've got these experiences that come with that unmet desire, that are partnered with that unmet desire, and you've got emotions and feelings that are partnered with those experiences. And then you've got the after, right? And in between, you've got a vehicle that brings them from the now and brings them to the after. You've got a vehicle, you've got a boat, you've got a car, whatever you want to call it, that brings them from the now to the after. That vehicle is your product or service, but that vehicle is not what it is that they are buying. What they're buying is the after. That's what they care about. That's what motivates them. That's what is exciting to them. That's why when you focus on that in your offer, it becomes irresistible. Now, does that make sense? Yeah, sure. Right? That's the game. That's the magic. That's why, as a side note, that's why when marketing campaigns, a lot of marketing campaigns, what happens is this. They get caught up in, some will start with the problem, They'll start with the problem. You're in debt, life stinks, you're depressed, you're overwhelmed, and then they'll say, like, I've got an answer, I've got a way for you to get out of debt, and they'll tease the functional benefit, the top level benefit, and we'll get into, I'm gonna give you a better example of the functional, dimensionalized, and emotional. And then they get into, then they get into the vehicle. Let me tell you about our product. And let me tell you about the protein powder. Let me tell you why it's great and what it's mixed with this, and it's pharmaceutical grade, and it's hydrolyzed whey protein, and so it's absorbed better in your intestinal tract, and so and then they go through and listen to me, please get this, right? They'll go through this, all of these benefits of their product that aren't necessarily tied to that after. It's absorbed better, so you'll have less gas, less bloating. You won't be as full. It tastes better. You'll enjoy drinking it. All of these things that are benefits of the vehicle, but that aren't the after. They're not buying it because they want a great tasting drink. That's a benefit, it's a plus. They're buying the after. They're buying the change to their existence. They're buying the change to their experience. They're buying the change to their emotion. That's what they're buying. Right? And you're showing them how the vehicle does that and gets them there and does it more efficiently, more effectively than anything else. And it's got these benefits. And it also happens to be better tasting, and it also happens to be easy on digestion, and it also happens to, be used by top athletes, so you're going to feel great, you're going to be part of this club. But the core to the whole thing is the after. Make sense? So let's go back to, for 1 second, we started with, and most marketers, most entrepreneurs, they talk on a level of functional benefits. Functional benefits. When really what makes something desirable, what really drives people is the dimensionalized and emotional benefit. So let's take let's give the definition again, and then let's get into a simple example. So the functional benefit, right, is that higher level benefit. It's like what it does for you. So so saying you'll build more muscle. Okay? Dimensionalized is what does that functional benefit look like in the life of the prospect. So what does it actually look like? What does that mean, right? Because you can't picture you'll build more muscle, right? Like for the protein. You can't picture that. So let's paint a picture for 1 second. Let's just come up with something off of the cuff for what would that look like and there's not one right answer, right? Like, so we could come up with, we could each come up with an answer to what would that look like in the life of the prospect.
So the before and after?
Not the before, but just the after. If we're focusing on you'll build more muscle.
Feel confident, feel like you're sure.
Okay, so hang on. So
Chicks are gonna dig you.
So chicks are gonna dig you. What was somebody?
Yeah, so for me, it's something as simple as being able to play with your grandchildren.
So that's a little bit of a different, but right for your got it. So were you gonna say something?
I was gonna say the filling out the shirt, the look.
That's so right. So you started to say you'll feel more confident. So here's like a little side note. So that is an example of you'll feel more confident. That's functional, right? But what does that look like? If we just talking about like you'll feel more confident, right? Like what does that look like? What does it, a way to think about this is this. In writing, in storytelling, there is a rule that, right, good authors, good writers will tell you, show, don't tell. Show, don't tell. What that means is, right, like, rather than saying, is the food? Cat, are we?
Yeah, they just don't want it too much noise.
Oh, they're totally all good. But so just a few more and then so this is really valuable. This is good stuff. Right? Show, don't tell. Right? Telling is this. He was mad. Bob was pissed. Okay, that's telling. We're telling Bob was pissed. But how could we show that Bob was pissed?
Boss slammed
There you go.
On the table.
That's it. You don't need to say Bob was pissed. When you say, right, he slammed his hand down, and sat down without uttering a single word. You know Bob is pissed, right? You know that he's angry. And so dimensionalizing it is more of the showing. Functional benefit is the telling. You'll build more muscle. Dimensionalize it. How could we paint that picture? And a simple example is, and we'll just come up with, you both said the shirt. And so you'll notice, you'll notice the sleeves on your shirts just getting tighter and tighter over the coming weeks, as will everybody else around you. Now it's okay. I can see that in my mind, right? And that gives me that paints this picture of that's what I want to experience, right? That's part of the after. That's part of the after. And so